How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Trailmakers Creations. In this episode, we are going to be starting with the Recluse. This little battle buggy type looking McDeal here. So this is actually a fairly simple vehicle, but it's a little bit more than what it looks like. Again, you can just jump in and drive around. You can see we've got a couple of cannons on top there. That's left shift. We can fire those and just WASD controls. Drive our little buggy around like this. Got down here, as you can see, we got some suspension and things. You also notice it's got a bizarre shape to it. Bizarre shape is to accommodate for a transform. It actually transforms into a four-legged spider-like thing. So if it comes across like muddy terrain or uneven terrain that it can't drive over with its wheels, it can do this. Hit number 1 and we hit the space bar. And we're a spider. Battle spider. And number 1 will transform us back into our vehicle so we can come up here and get launched. Woohoo! Spider mode. Walk, walk, walk. Walk it off. Walk it off. Walk it off. Uh-oh. Change. Pow. Oh. That's going to leave a mark. So yeah, and if you're wondering, hey man, what map are you on here? Where is this place? This is the Skyport 1.0. This is my first mod. I built it. That's right. Yeah. See, we got a big landing strip down there. We are way up in the sky above Treasure Island. So if you go into Treasure Island and spawn in this mod, Skyport 1.0, then this is where you'll be. We got a bunch of floating islands that are connected by some roads here. There's some exploding barrels and stuff set up around the place, as well as some normal barrels. Satellite dishes. It's basically a big airport in the sky because there is no big airport strip up here. We also have a couple of these here, kind of ports for if you got a big airship or a Zeppelin, you can tie it onto here. You can see we got another catapult over there. Catapult, I should say. We got our air control tower, so we can get over there. Well, actually, let's take this. Let's take this catapult and see if we can land on the runway. We've got some barrels here, exploding crates. There's some barrels there, exploding barrels. Ones that don't explode. Oh, and we got a failed chuck. And, oh, as we fall down to the ground. So there's the Skyport. It's got all the rings, a big layer of rings on the bottom there. Let's jump out. So you can see there's lots of rings on the bottom there, and you can see it even says on the bottom, Skyport. So when you're on the ground, if you're flying around up in the air and you need a place to land, you can land at the Skyport. Do your refueling. Let's just hit the old backspace. It's going to start us right back up here. Also as well, if you're flying a helicopter, we got a couple of helipads here that are lit up. There's a smaller one and a bigger one in case you got a chopper that you want to try and land on here. Land on this one as well. And that is where you start. This is the main spawn point here. And then we got a couple of airplane hangars. These airplane hangars will lead you to the incoming runway if you want to land here, and then you can drive your plane right through here, and then there's another takeoff runway there that y'all can take off from. Got our satellite dishes here, and we can go up to our control tower. Shout out to TerraSoul for making this mod, Trailmakers. Graciously thankful for the permission to use it. And yeah, so this is the Skyport. This is the way it's all laid out up here. This is the control tower. You can come up here and watch people fly in and land and take off. And then we got these floating islands that are connected by these roads. So you can just basically drive around and blow stuff up and drop stuff off here onto the people down below. Way down there. on Treasure Island. And we're way up here in the sky. So yeah, check out that mod. It is uploaded and available for download. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Alright, take a look at our next build. Alright, this build was a viewer request for a backhoe. So just from memory and looking at it, I might be also asked for a how-to on making this back arm, on the hydraulics on that arm, but there are no hydraulics on that arm. So I might be getting around to that. Stay tuned for that. Hit that notification bell and you'll be told when that video comes out, as well as any other video. So yeah, this is the backhoe. It's a little complicated because it has a lot of moving parts, but let's go through it real quick here and see if I can explain everything that it does. So, very first thing is we have Q and E, which raises and lowers our front bucket. We also have 2 and 3, which rotates the front bucket independently of the main arms. And then number 4 toggles our magnets on the front here so that we can grab hold of whatever it is that we're scooping up or pushing around, and we can hold on to that. So this lets us rotate a fairly decent angle so that we can dump into a dump truck of some kind or another truck. And Q and E will let us drop that back down. Many buttons, many buttons. Alright, so then for that's the front end, and then if we want to use the back side, we hit number 1 and the seat inside will rotate 180 degrees and our stabilizers will come out and our lights will switch from the front lights to the back lights. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So our stabilizers come out, our lights are now on the back, and we are now back this way facing the back, so we can use our digging arm. So now back here, we still have control of this other, so yeah, we'll just drop this down a little bit like that. A little extra stability. And then we can use our rotating arm. So here we're going to use our arrow keys and left and right. It lets us rotate our arm left and right like this. And up and down arrow keys will allow us to extend and retract the main arm. And then our secondary arm is the period and comma keys. Ouch. So in conjunction with the up and down arrows and the period and comma keys, we can extend this out like this. Get a nice decent reach. And then M and N is to scoop on the bucket. We can scoop it up and we can bring it up. Oh, might need to lift this up a little bit like this and then scoop this in like that. And then we can carry our goodies like that. Swing it around. Bring that out like that. And then, oh, no, not those ones, this one. And then we can dump it out like that. Dump it like that. Pull this one back up, spin it back around. So just like a real backhoe, but no hydraulics. Didn't use any pistons. I was going to do that, but then it was going to end up being more complex, and I didn't want to go over the limit, so I wanted to make it fully functional. We have our glass windows in the back here as well, so we can see what we're doing. Kind of hard in the seat though, once you're looking from the in-person view. First person, you can't look down. So looking from here, as you can see, we can still see our arm and our bucket stuff, but we can't look around or look down. It kind of sucks, but we can still hold our right mouse button if we need to look outside of ourselves, and then go back into first person if we need to do that. So that is the backhoe. Thank you for that suggestion. That was fun to build. That was a little bit more of a challenge. Again, a little more realistic, and it actually has some moving parts on it. Couple moving parts on there. Getting the work done. Gotta get to work, man. Look at that. 80 kilometer an hour, 90 kilometer an hour backhoe. That's not too safe. I'm pretty sure that's not too safe. What do we got over here? We got buckets. Oh, hey, settle down. Look at that. Get some air in the old backhoe, eh? Let's see, we'll pick up maybe one of these. Let's drop this down. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. This one. Then hit number 4. Gotcha. Then lift it up. Oh, settle down. Oh, we got high centered. High centered in the backhoe. Come on. Alright, well, you know what this is good for. We can do this. This is what they would actually do with a backhoe. extend it down. Will that not go down any further? Scoop the bucket, try and drive forward. Push it down. Man. Okay, let's try lowering the front bucket. Look at that, lift the whole thing up. Yeah, now we're not going anywhere. Okay, let's see if we can use that front bucket. Lower us down. Oh. The boss ain't gonna like that. We busted the new machine. Now we can draw lines on the road. Yeah, that's a fun build. Check it out. I'll upload that as of this video being published. Alright, off to the next build. So this here is called the Red Rover. This uses a single UFO engine on the top there that you can see, and a couple of aerodynamic fins that get rotated by servos into those there hover pads, and that gives us our forward propulsion. But this is also set up to be a boat. It floats on the water. It was actually designed for the high seas, so we can rip around the high seas. So when we hit number 1, it angles our fins there, and that helps us skim across the water when we're on the high seas or on the water. So if we... Okay, you know what? I'm going to face this way. We got fins in the back for steering, our ailerons there left and right for roll, and it just uses seat for pitch. But of course the UFO engine gets glitchy when it's sideways or at some weird orientation. So we want to try and keep it as level as possible, or else we're just flipping around. Alright, let's go. So when we're in boat mode, see, we can stay this way because it wants to push the nose down, right? So then we can kind of lean like this and use the skimming and the friction on the water with our fins as our turning. Kind of gives us that high-speed sailboat effect. There's no hover pads underneath, so the only hover pads are the ones on the UFO engine there, and you can see how they're angled in. And that's what gives us our 150 km/h speed. This keeps us over top. We're kind of not hydroplaning, I guess we're ground effects, surface effect, water effect, skimming, surface tension kind of thingy, my bob. But this is fun. It flies pretty straight on the high seas. The wind doesn't catch it too much. And you can actually skim across the top of the big waves. It's nice to be able to zip around without having anything in the water, actually. And there's no real sails on it. So the wind doesn't blow you around too much, which is nice. Plus the Red Rover hover sail thingy. I'll upload that to the shop as well. And let's take a look at our last build of the video. And there's the skyport up there. Right up there, see all the rings. There's 11 rings, there's not 10. So that's good if you're a plane flyer and you like using this map, but there's no place really to land or build on this map. You can just import that right into here, and there you go. You got yourself a skyport. Alright, final build. Alright, the final build for this video, folks, is the Voyager. This is a tall sailing ship, 3-masted, and it's got a couple of cool things on it. For one, we'll notice that we have a UFO engine under here using sails instead of fins or blocks, and we can hit number 1. That will press forward, and that will give us a nice cruising speed, about 20 km/h, just for cruising around. We have a rudder down here, a very large rudder, with a couple of flags on it there, so that from up here, we can see where the rudder is. Them 2 little black dots there. See that? I can see where the rudder is. Can you see where it is? I see where it is. Now, you'll notice that the boat is pretty filled with water, so please keep everything stored in the overhead compartments. Our sails are also all mounted. Q and E controls those, and that rotates the entire mast of sails. All of them rotate. So I don't know if there was ever a ship built like that, or if that would actually even ever work, or if that's just asking for disaster. But that's what this one does. We're going Voyager. Now also, we got some pop-up sails. This is not as big as the sails can get. Our sails can get big like. When you hit number 4, these ones all here pop up too. So now we got lots of sails, which slow us down even more. That's kind of cool, the way we can collapse a bunch of those sails. Some go inside between the other two in the front, and these ones here are layered, like staggered front to back, so that we can pull those out. Of course, we have 2 and 3, which closes up all of our sails, opens them up again, and then Z and X down below here is what actually gets rid of the sails, which actually speeds us up when we, if we close our sails. Close the sails, man. We should get up to about 30 kilometers an hour because we closed the sails on our UFO engine, which is weird. We got rid of the sails, and it has more of an effect than when the sails are open. I don't know. It's physics, man. I don't invent it. I just report the news. I don't make it, man. So that is the Voyager. That is my big, tall ship with extending sails. Now, as far as on the high seas, how does this do on the high seas? The majority of the time will just fall over flat on the high seas. Way too top heavy. And this keel down here has got, I bet you, 300 kilos of weight in that keel. That's a monster keel. Plus the extra tall sails hanging down like that. And it still wants to flip over. It's very, very top heavy. It's very tall, and the wind push on the top. I did have a crow's nest on top of there too, and again, same thing. I'm trying to reduce the weight. I actually thought about putting a gimbal up there to keep the top up, but that's kind of too cheating. So I figured, nope, we'll just try and keep it going as natural as possible. Alrighty, guys. I think that's all we got for you today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which was your favorite in here. I'm working on a few more things. If you enjoy this stuff, don't forget to click on something on the end screen here. We'll see you in the next one. Ciao.